Welcome back once again, Real People, Real Life, Wichita, Kansas.
Wichita, Kansas.
America! Woo! God, can you
you
hear the echo?
I know.
We're at WSU. Well, we're at one of the WSU campuses. So we'll kind of get to that in a little bit, but we're actually in this giant room, so we're going to play like this echo game. Echo.
I can't hear it too much since your voice is like real close.
We're gonna hope. So there's been a lot going on, and which is totally cool in some ways, and probably not so cool in another way. So I've got a lot of things I'm going to get caught up to speed with some of you people on. Okay, Rudy, I want to know what's going on at the NBA National Broadcast Association meeting in Las Vegas. That's my first one. What's that?
Well, okay, there are two main things really that were the huge impression. The first one was forget about 4K. We're already at 8K now.
I wondered about that.
So 8K, basically 8K is 16 times the resolution of HD.
But
so,
nobody's set up for that here.
Well, of course not. Nobody's even set up for 4K.
I was going to say, we haven't even, I mean, our stations
like,
aren't even set up for 4K.
You
so.
can buy the Ultra HD TVs now, but what are you going to play them on?
Right.
Streaming.
Right. Which...
high speed internet speed. So as soon as fiber has been outside your house for about the last 15 years plus.
Right.
Remember when they put it in?
I do too.
So now they're starting to bring the fiber line from outside on that line into your house,
right?
Which is going to be probably a minimum of 100 times faster than your fastest high-speed internet connection.
Oh, and way cheaper.
Probably no.
Kansas City,
in Kansas City it is.
Kansas City it is, but not in Wichita because they're doing this in Derby. I've heard from Derby residents that to have that fiber run from the outside of the fence to the home, it could be $200 and $300. So, okay.
For that kind of speed increase, I'd pay that money.
Heck yeah.
No, it's just for the one time, and then you resume your normal whatever your cost.
It's my understanding that the company is going to cover that fee.
No,
that's what I was told.
That's what some
I would
people
too
were told.
if I could get it, but I can't.
If you're a new customer, that might be one of the reasons that they entice you.
It's an installation fee,
labor.
Yeah, so if you think of it that way, and how many millions of dollars all the local TV stations just spent here within the last few years just to go HD,
I know.
Are they going to want to turn around and do that again right away? No, probably not.
We're going to lose it anyway because streaming is going to be the future.
And that is the future
and
anyway.
That is the future. And like I told you, I think it was announced, what was it, in the last week or so, that Hulu, okay, I really kind of thought, Netflix has been doing it, but Hulu is going to step up to the plate. I mean, they're offering to have live sports 24/7. They're offering to have live news 24/7. I mean, they're stepping up to the plate big, and your HBOs and all that's going to be there through your Hulu. Okay.
And then once they upgrade it into the 4K signal that you could get through fiber, I mean, you could probably, I don't know if you could do it. Yeah, you can almost do it right now on high speed, say, cable.
Right.
Through satellite internet, no freaking way. I can tell you that because I'm out in the country and you can't do that. So the point of that if you're going to 8K and high speed, I mean, we're talking about a ton of information coming through here. There's really a couple of applications where that's going to, and I've got something over here that I can show you. However,
but to tell the truth, don't go buy a 4G TV right now, right?
4K.
I mean, 4K.
The 8K stuff isn't going to be out for a while, so it depends on how cool you think it looks, which it looks really awesome. However,
it pops.
Oh man! But so the 8K stuff, they have the new, and the prototypes are just out. So I was at the Panasonic booth, Panasonic and Canon. Anyway, they had the new Canon cameras with the lenses on them that are in 8K, but they had the theater. So you sit in this 8K theater, and I swear to God, it's like as real as this. It's this clear as like real life.
Really?
Yeah.
Like 3D.
I was like, oh my God! And I took a picture with it of the screen with my phone, and it looks like I was taking a photograph in Italy.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the picture of the screen of the TV looked like a photograph. And what they did, they had magnifying glasses on these 8K displays so you could try to see a pixel.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was nuts.
That's
it was
crazy.
awesome. If you go, I just went to HD or 4K, I'm not going to 8K. It's like, well, you might.
You might want to.
So, and I'll try to be quick. So the next thing is all immersive 3D. So have you seen, let me grab this over here. Have you seen one of these yet?
Yes.
So like the Oculus is one of the companies, and their new version's already behind. But all I got to do is stick my phone in this 3D printed tray. So I printed this out on a 3D printer, and then I take my phone, like right here, and I just stick it in here.
Right.
And when I was in Italy last summer, I shot a bunch of stuff in 3D. with GoPros in 3D. That's how simple it is. And I mean, the first generation of stuff like this is basically if you were to film it that way and render it out so you have left eye, right eye. So take your finger, everybody take your fingers, put it around here. Left, right, left, right. You can see how you have an interocular distance type of thing. So if I go on here and show you scenes from Rome, Dawn, here's the forum, in case you've never seen what it looked like.
And I did this,
real.
it just like blew my mind.
This is off my phone.
It will blow your
Oh,
mind.
for crying out
Here's
loud.
the thing,
Yeah.
Why am I trying to
though.
get
Close-ups for actors and actresses,
Wow.
it's horrible.
Wow.
You can see
Wait, I
every
watched-
pore.
Nice.
Well, yeah, maybe so, because they're shooting at such high resolution. But
Right.
that's what you would have to worry about, but you better have a good makeup artist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Okay, that's just when the
Okay.
new makeup artist comes in.
So yeah,
Right.
that's where. Now, if isn't that wild? Now, this isn't
Yeah,
even
where
where we're
came from.
at right now, because here's the beginning of it. Really, this is like so old technology. What's happening now? There's a couple different cameras, and I'm not going to say who, but have an 8-camera array, so they're
Yeah, I've seen
filming
it.
live streaming, so that now when you wear this thing, you're turning around and you can see in 360 degrees around you.
Right.
It's like the new age Viewmaster.
It is.
It is,
And
yeah.
it's kind of like that. I mean, basically, that's what that is
Yeah.
right there. But what they've done with some of this, yeah, it's not even moving.
That's nice because you
but,
wear your
yeah.
glasses still.
Yeah, and you can still wear your glasses on here. Now, there's another company that signed a big deal with Fox Sports called Next VR. So already you're going to be able to stream this, and it's going to be internet only.
Right.
So they're shooting it in 4K like this, to where here, the coolest thing I saw was it was Golden State Warriors versus the LA Lakers. They had this camera right here on the 50-yard line. It was 2 cameras. I think they were using red
half
4K
court.
cameras and half court. And so you're watching it, and you're watching it at half court as you're watching the game. They shoot the bat. Here comes Steph Curry. Boom, 3-pointer, back and forth. So it's like you're sitting right there watching the game.
Oh, man.
And so they already signed a deal. So this is you're going to be able to watch your NFL games this year like that, NBA games, your baseball,
baby.
and all that stuff like you're sitting right there. That's freaking cool.
No kidding.
But the next advent of all this stuff is that they even have hollow rooms now to where you sit in it with no visor on, with the 8K screens coming down to where everything's happening around you, and it's like the holodeck in Star Trek. They got some work to do, but that's where it's going. That's
where
why
it's going.
8K.
So we'll never
That's
have
where
to
we're
leave the
going.
house again.
Right.
You never,
Never have to interact with real people.
you know, and for a lot of people, thank God.
I know, really? I have to agree with that.
But so that's kind of where that thing was at. It was like the 3D immersive technology in 8K, and why are they going to 8K like at full speed? It's so that you're going to be able to do this, and you're going to be able
Everybody
to do it.
ran out and bought that 4K TV already.
Well, can you get any channels in 4K?
No.
No.
So we're not even there.
No.
Can you
Yeah.
play DVDs
I
on it,
think-
Blu-rays?
When
on
they
it?
sold that to you, did you
no.
know that?
No, they won't tell you that.
They never produced any of those movies in 4K. I mean,
Right.
that's IMAX. They do have new IMAX cameras out that are digital too, which are badass. Anyway, that's enough of that rant about anything.
Oh, okay. Well, I did.
That's
I've been trying to track Rhodey down to get the story.
Wow.
You know, because I kind of had an idea what you were gonna.
Well, the problem with your local broadcasters, okay, what's going to happen now? Because I lived through the whole radio thing when they went from deregulation to where you had one owner could only own
So did I.
12 stations at a time in the United States. And then now you have these big giant corporations that own all of them. And that's why basically we have 3 radio conglomerates in Wichita now that are 6 stations in each one.
Right.
And they went from having 40 employees for each station down to 10 for all
all of them.
6.
You know, I tried to explain this to a client the other day. You know, the client was, keep in mind, some of us, in case you don't know, we really do live in media, okay? And we live, we eat, we breathe this stuff. But I was trying to explain that, to a client the other day who, in his mind, he's still, in the 80s, okay? Well, back in the 80s, we had one country station, we had one rock and roll station, and we had, one was KLEO, which was the time it was AM, but then you had KKRD. Okay, so that was probably it. I mean, seriously. Now, how many country formats, how many rock formats, how many, contemporary and or adult contemporary formatted stations do we have? So you just took that audience and segmented it, and it makes it that much harder. And so he was like, well, why can't we just go back to the 80s? And I'm like, because there's not enough staff.
Because we don't have a DeLorean.
I know. Good. Well, yeah, we don't have a DeLorean, and,
Yeah.
and there's not
That's
enough
it.
staff at the networks, at the radio stations. So I mean, it's
But those
ridiculous.
are almost gone anymore anyway.
Well,
They're
you're-
streaming like all the different radio internet stations.
Bacon
For example,
Rock.
baconrock.com.
Yep.
There's no
Yeah.
bang for your buck on there too, anyway, because so many people can listen to their Sirius
Yeah,
satellite
that's
radio
insane.
or their iPad pod phone.
Right. I mean,
People build a playlist.
the options are just unbelievable these days. Whether it is TV or it's radio, whatever you want to do, whether it's to enjoy the music that you like and or watch the different types of programs that you like, whether it's TV or radio, it's a changing world. I mean, I've been saying that for a long time, and I'm going to keep saying it. And obviously, you just proved
Oh, it's coming. They're going to bypass.
It's
They're
just
going to totally
starting, yeah.
bypass all the TV stations. I
That's
think
right.
radio stations, local radio stations, have kind of come out the other side now
They have. I think they have. I think they
because
have.
they can't cut them back
Yeah,
anymore.
there's nobody to cut back. I mean, seriously, there is nobody to cut back. You can call local conglomerates, okay, one of the big three. You can call and say, I need, for example, I need last month's statements, or I need an aging for last month. We don't have any of that here in Kansas. You need to go to our parent company and get it from these folks. I'm
In
like,
Dallas or Atlanta.
Isn't that
and-
you determine how much you charge for advertising though?
exactly. Okay, and
your
then there
ratings.
are, and then I mean, I'm just seeing all of this again. Like when the deregulation and all the radio things hit the fan, I'm seeing it again. So anyway, we are at WSU, and we are going to be talking with John, who is with Network Kansas, and this is something that I hope we can help some of the small business people here in Wichita and in Kansas kind of help.
This stuff is brilliant.
I know this is good
Looking
stuff.
forward
Yeah.
to talking to him again.
I know,
Yeah.
right? So we'll be right back. Real people, real life. Welcome back once again, Real People, Real Life, Wichita, Kansas, America. Woo! All right, John. I got your nickname. I heard a little birdie told me your nickname today, but I'm not going to say.
What is it?
I'm not going to
What
say.
is it?
Isn't it John?
What is it?
It's
I grew
done,
up
and that's a hint.
Nanny and Poppy in the neighborhood call me JP.
There you go. Okay, there's nothing wrong with
That's
that.
my son's name too, so that's why I was like, since I found that out, I'm only going to call you JP. So
And then we were like, no, we're supposed to call you John.
Except for on camera.
Professional people seem to know me as John Kendrick.
John. Well, we're going to
Okay.
do it. Okay. This.
You've got a lot to talk to us about.
Holy moly. Okay,
Well,
first of
let's get
all, where are
started.
you located? Because this was almost comical today. Go ahead.
The Kansas Center for Entrepreneurship does business as Network Kansas, and we are located throughout the state. I oversee a referral center called Network Kansas, and we happen to be located at Wichita State University.
And this
There
particular,
are other teammates that
Okay.
are located throughout the rest of the state. Like, for example, we have a teammate up at KU. We also have another in Leoti, Kansas. And there's more teammates in Andover.
okay, but I don't want people to think that this is on the main WSU campus.
We're located at the Metropolitan Complex at 29th and Oliver. We've been there for 10 years, and it's a great location for the referral center,
Okay.
and so that's where we are. We really don't get much foot traffic, so the location
But it'd be
is
nice though for
irrelevant.
people to
but,
know. I know you
yeah.
you mostly go to the business, is that right?
It depends on the nature of the interaction, but
Okay.
most oftentimes people are communicating with us via email, calling the referral center.
And there are
or,
workshops here as well that people come here
Oh,
for,
absolutely.
right? Yeah.
The Small Business Development Center is located down the hall, and they host a variety of classes that anyone can access. There's a lot going on, actually.
I
How to write
know.
a business plan. There's a bunch of valuable things going on here at Metroplex.
So let's talk about that
Yeah,
because
you
I know
tell
we
us.
had.
Let's start with this one, shall
Yeah.
we?
Loan
Well,
fund.
Okay, let's
these
talk
are
about
just examples of some of the
Loan fund.
information, but basically we have economic products that are termed gap funding tools. Basically, we're not trying to compete with any traditional form of funding. We're actually going to come in on the back end. So let's say you have an idea and you may not have enough collateral, or you may not have a long enough track record in an industry, or whatever reason you're not qualifying for the funds that you're after. These products were deployed to help get the cash into the entrepreneur's hands. So basically you can go to a bank or a certified development company or any of the other types of loan funds that are available, and access the capital there, and then the resource partner or the person that you're working with on that loan can apply on your behalf for the products that we've deployed. And so aside from the gap funding tools, there is also technical assistance like economic gardening, but really I wanted to talk with you mostly about the Network Kansas Referral Center, because that is the place that you go to whenever you have any business-related questions or needs, and that's where it all starts.
And I really want our viewers to know it's free. It's 100% for your services and everything that you provide.
Right.
So what you're
And
about to tell us doesn't cost.
It all came about from this Economic Growth Act back in 2004 that called for the creation of a website and a toll-free number, because what they've noticed is that there's like this wide variety of resources available to entrepreneurs, but there was a disconnect. People weren't able to access them.
Right.
Partly because those resources don't really have much of a marketing budget, and so we are here to make the connection. So like, for example, there's like a patent library on campus that people don't seem to know about oftentimes. That's just one
A
example.
patent library, so
Yeah,
That would be nice.
That is
to
good.
know.
So,
I
I
mean,
mean, can you apply for a patent there through that, or
Yeah,
information
they'll
on how to
actually
do it? Or?
walk you through the entire process.
For free.
Nan Myers is there. She will help you conduct a patent search. It's very cool.
Well, that's kind of major.
that's pretty
There's
major.
a-
that's pretty major.
There's a lot of
And they'll
stuff
walk you
going
through
on
that at
throughout
no
the
charge,
state.
and then you take it from there, or how does that?
Basically, these professionals oftentimes are there to guide you through whatever area of expertise they
At no
focus
charge.
on. Correct.
Wow.
And so basically you contact Network Kansas, you're paired with a referral coordinator. This person will listen to you about your current situation and then conduct research on your behalf to determine which professional would make best sense for you to be communicating with. That's where you'll start. And then they will give you the contact information for that individual, facilitate the connection, and then follow up with you to make sure that they were able to do what they say they're going to do.
Right.
And then basically we'll just keep guiding you through the entrepreneurial life cycle, and that is designed to help the entrepreneur reach their business goals.
How, because
That's awesome.
We've had a client that we've been kind of talking to, and we keep telling him that he needs to get a hold of you. I think he's got a great idea, and there's a similar business that's doing fantastic in Florida.
Okay.
But come on, kids, this is Wichita, Kansas. This is not Miami or Fort Lauderdale or anything like that. And sometimes the business owners will come back, and these are things that have worked in Dallas, or these are things that have worked in Denver, or Fort
well,
Lauderdale,
keep
and
in
they
mind,
have that
though, that,
expectation, though.
The demographics in Wichita mirror the United States, and I'm not sure if you're aware or not, but Wichita is a test market.
Yes, we are.
And
We
so,
have been for a long time.
Depending on what it is that you're, trying to bring to fruition, you'd be surprised at the concepts that are tested here, and then they deploy them nationally.
Right. The food, I mean, back when I was getting more involved in Wichita as a test market, it had to do with the restaurant industry.
Okay.
And we were used, Wichita was used as a test market, big time. And it used to be, even with, I think it was Rudy Tuesday, one of the nationals, for years you would see ads for Rudy Tuesday locally on, your local network TV stations. And people were like, we don't even have one of those. And so, but different restaurants have been formed, and their techniques and their philosophy and their recipes have been purposely planted to do business here. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Good God, everybody
But,
knows that.
With
Yeah.
Market research,
I work for
there's
Lieberman's here, and we had focus groups on everything from alcohol launches to toy launches to everything. It gets launched here, clothing, everything.
And those types of things tend to be done in order to increase the chances of success.
Yep.
So
Any chance to increase a small business owner's chance for success in this state is more than welcome.
yeah, which is why I thought that a lot of the classes that are hosted here are so helpful. I mean, you may be engineer or any other type of professional that has some area of expertise, but you may not have real business experience.
Right.
Fair enough?
Right.
And so you got this idea that you want to pursue, but you really don't know how to go about it.
Right.
And so having assistance from the very early stages,
Priceless.
on through
Right.
valuation and sale of a business is very useful. And so these individuals wanting to pursue something can get guidance on conducting a feasibility study, through completing the business plan, accessing the appropriate sources of funding, maybe prototype development. I mean,
Right.
there's just so,
There's so
much that
much.
goes into it.
How do you sign up for that? I mean, is there
I know.
like you go
You
on
just
the
call
website, and how much does it cost? How do you sign
toll-free
up?
number. It doesn't cost anything.
Free.
Because if you think about it, if you as the individual with the idea are able to look into it and determine if it's in your best interest to bring it to fruition, then you benefit, the state benefits, your community benefits, right? And so it's set up
Yeah.
to where you should have access to the support organizations that can help you launch and grow a business.
But if you've got if you've already started 5 or 6 of them, and most of them are still doing fine, but you didn't know what you're doing in the first place, can you go back and take classes now?
We're contacted by businesses of all
Yes.
sizes. And so for the individual that has a handful of active businesses, they would typically check in to find out if there are any resources that they're not available that they could take advantage of, like maybe
Where's your
economic
sign-up sheet?
gardening. Because, for example, I oversee the Network Kansas Referral Center that makes these connections, but my area of focus is economic gardening, and I communicate with the CEOs of growth companies throughout the state to help them do business online more efficiently through market research, GIS, which is Geographical Information Systems, and digital marketing expertise. And so we have a team that is brought together, and based on the business's needs or issues, we're able to furnish them with the deliverables to help them make these decisions that is set up to increase their revenues and create good paying jobs.
What if I got something for you? Have I shown you one of these things?
I know, right?
We'll talk. We're going to talk. Where's the sign-up sheet?
Choking over here because we're not done with you yet, John. But I did want to say something. Because again, a lot of times when we're talking about small businesses, the reason I ask questions sometimes is because it's in reference to what maybe a small business that one of us works for already. In the case of somebody, let's say that's Seth or I, or one of us was working for through Sierra Advertising, and this client said that they can't handle the .com scene anymore. They can't handle the social media scene anymore. It's driving them crazy. Okay, and they want to just give it up, and I'm like, no, I cannot let you do this. Okay.
So they have an existing business and they're wanting to give it up. Is this what you're...
No, they want to keep the existing business, but what they feel like is that the
They can't
leads,
handle the social media stuff.
the leads that they're getting from .com services and or from social media services are maybe not as qualified of leads that they need, okay, in order to continue to do business, okay. So what they feel like is all these majority may be useless leads that are taking up the time of their staff for nothing. Okay,
I
so
would
they
want
need
to communicate with that business owner about these leads, and I would need to analyze where they were coming from, what kind of deals they got set up with these folks, and then I would be able to go from there with them. So I would have to conduct what we term a listen and learn, to find out more detail, and that will allow me to move forward.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break because we're going to be right back. Real People, Real Life, Wichita, Kansas. Welcome back once again, Real People, Real Life. John, thank you for staying with us. And you are with Network Kansas.
That's right.
And you're in one of the WSU, because there's several WSU locations, okay? But where we're at with you today is actually on 29th Street, okay, just east of Oliver. And we were starting to talk about Network Kansas and even existing businesses. Let's say somebody's been in business for 10 years or more, and they like this whole .com thing, but they're frustrated by it. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
What is your what would be other than you're set down and let's take
Well,
this?
keep in mind, it's all case specific.
Right.
So individuals contact me from all industries,
Right.
all stages of business.
Okay.
So I communicate with the individuals and find out where they are at.
Okay.
We meet them there and figure out what it is they're trying to accomplish.
Everything
and
is
so, like
a
for
one-on-one.
example, when I was talking with you about doing business online more efficiently as opposed to trading dollars locally, will bring new dollars into the community to create.
Right.
Well, that's just an example of one thing that's going on. Like in the entrepreneurship communities, there's 55 e-communities located throughout the state. And aside from having their own locally controlled revolving loan fund that the local entrepreneurs can access, there are these board-certified programs that they also have access to that can oftentimes be paid for by that revolving loan fund. So keep in mind that the dollars don't tend to come out of the entrepreneur's pocket because it benefits the state, the
Right.
community. Anyway, so like examples of these board-certified programs are like Destination Boot Camp.
Right.
Which would be like on the opposite end of the spectrum of economic gardening, and like you're talking about not really wanting to focus on doing business online with individuals. Like maybe the opposite end of that is having a destination business, like
Correct.
bed and breakfast or something, and marketing more regionally and. That kind of
Right,
conversation. And so, I mean, like I said, it really just depends on what you've got going on, and then based on those details would determine what would be brought to the table.
Okay. So it doesn't really matter what size business it is, whether it's just a single mom and pop type of deal or if it's a major corporation. Here in the state of Kansas, for the most part, you can or you can help facilitate someone that can help them.
Correct.
In an extremely large amount of opportunities.
That's what we're working to create. We're basically cultivating an entrepreneurial community throughout the state of Kansas.
Sweet.
And this ecosystem has come a long way over the years. And like, for example, last year I was volunteering to help create this regional export plan, and now Network Kansas has inherited or been awarded the opportunity to be that central portal for any business that has questions or needs about doing business internationally. And
That's
so
that's huge. Because that import-export is a very tricky industry.
And so there's a lot going on right now about identifying the businesses that have the potential to do business in other countries and helping those that are already engaging in that type of activity to do more. It's a pretty exciting time, not only to be in Wichita, but in the state of Kansas. It's pretty cool, actually. What's going on?
It's nice to see. I mean, sometimes we get kind of bogged down reading the headlines and the news, and it's a little easy to get a little disappointed. We can understand. So I would like to keep always reminding people that sometimes there really is that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and that's pretty much what you guys have for a small business owner that's literally pulling their hair out, trying to figure out which direction to go. I do have a question. Can you also help not-for-profit and non-profit
Sure.
organizations?
Sure.
You can?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. People contact us every month wanting to start or grow their nonprofit, and so we have access.
What if somebody
to
came to you and
resources
said, "I
as
want
well.
to start a nonprofit"? What kind of a cost would they be looking at, roughly, if you can do that?
We try to get people connected to the professionals that will be able to help them for free.
Okay.
We
You
start
get people
there.
to resources.
Yeah, we start there.
Okay.
And so it doesn't always have to cost anything.
Okay.
Now, I had a question on something you was talking about, that economic gardening. What exactly is that? Is it like
Taking existing businesses to the next level.
Basically,
okay?
You're growing your
I'll try to
garden.
break
But
it down
it
for
sounds-
you. I'll try
okay.
and break it down.
Yeah.
Basically, you have these types of businesses that are creating value, manufacturing something that oftentimes is tangible. Doesn't always have to be something you can hold.
Okay.
But basically, these people are creating it. They're already selling it throughout their community. They may have been doing business with like another state, right? And so, so we can analyze their current customers and then utilize things like GIS, geographical information systems, to find more of those customers. Right? And then we can furnish this type of information to the CEO and that's a quick way to explain how something would grow
Right.
as by participating in something like this. There's a lot more to it.
So in order to get to be part of this or to get into some kind of a conference with you or one of your people here, who do you contact? What do you call?
You can contact me directly if you want to talk about economic gardening. If you want to get hooked up with a referral coordinator, you can just check us out at networkkansas.com. You can communicate live with us through the website. There's a toll-free number there.
What's that
you
number?
You can communicate with us via email. So there's a
Can I ask
number
you- not to
of
interrupt.
ways to...
I know, right?
Those, right?
I know. He took him last time. I want some extra ones.
There-
Can I ask you, is that when you say networkkansas.com, is that Kansas
Yeah, it's
abbreviated
network,
or?
and then Kansas is spelled out, so there's
Okay.
2 Ks in the middle.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure. Okay, networkkansas spelled out.com. And then you had an 800
Yeah.
number to get a hold of you.
He's looking it
Yeah,
up.
it's
He doesn't call it himself.
866-521-8600 or 877-521-8600, excuse me.
Say that slowly one more time.
877-521-8600.
I always figure, if I can write it down, even though nobody can ever read it other than me, then hopefully you
viewers will
can
have
write it
time
down,
to-
okay?
yeah.
So that's the whole plan on that.
But everything's there at networkkansas.com. And again, people tend to reach out to us directly via email.
Okay, and they can get through on that networkkansas.com.
There's live chat.
Yeah.
And live chat there.
Sweet.
That is
The live
unbelievable.
chat is most useful for the people that just have a quick question. They just want
Right.
to get in and out. Yeah.
Okay. When we work with people on the East Coast, and they're doing a lot of like the geofencing in or the SEO, how does that economic gardening play into that?
Economic gardening playing into SEO, that's where the digital marketing piece would come in. And so, like,
And with the
for
geofencing.
example, things that would happen there would be like keyword research.
Right.
For example, comparing the types of terms that people are plugging into the search engines to find whatever it is that you're trying to sell, and then valuing those terms so that you may be utilizing the most expensive term, and you can realize through this report that it might be
Right.
worth considering using other terms, and then factoring that into the content on your website, to communicate with the algorithms on
Right.
the search engines, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
so-
interesting because it's kind of funny sometimes. When you ask a business owner, what's your demographic? Who is your consumer?
Men and women, 25 to 54.
Yeah, minimum 18, 25. And then they really don't know. It's surprising to me how many times they really don't know what their demographic is, what their audience is that they're looking for, and you see them wanting to be involved in media buys and or different things that really are not. I mean, it's one thing to do whatever you want to do to give support back to your community. I'm all for that, but don't do those things thinking that it's going to have an impact on the bottom line of your business, because you're thinking wrong. Okay, if you're going to give community support, that's what it needs to be. And I want people. Do you not agree with me?
I think you should just say what you're doing.
I agree. I agree.
Do you guys offer that web analysis of the keyword?
That is a portion of what is delivered to the CEO, and anyone is welcome to submit an application if they are wanting to access economic gardening free of charge. There is ways to do that. There's also ways if you just want to purchase certain pieces. If you don't need the entire engagement, it's real flexible. So
Okay.
That's
basically,
cool.
the
That's
thing
good
to
to
do if you're wanting information on that, just talk to me directly. Tell me what you got going on, and I'll do my best to get you hooked up.
Another question then. So we have our advertising agency, Sierra Advertising. Can we get in touch with you if we need some help fine-tuning somebody's, let's say, digital
over.
plan? Yeah, keep going. Keep bringing them. Will you work directly with us and get those pieces? Like if that person says, I want to work on my digital footprint, but I'm hiring you to do all this, so you work with them.
I would hook you up with the person who has the area of expertise on focusing on the digital footprint.
But the answer is yes. You would still work with them.
I would listen to you about your current situation, and if we determine that an individual is most appropriate, then I would make the connection with you.
Okay.
That's what I want to
So
know.
you would help us work.
Get you where you got to go.
on their customer's behalf. is what they're saying.
That's the question.
On the customer's behalf?
Yeah.
So you're saying that you're the business owner and you're calling in for information that's going to benefit your client?
Yes.
Yes.
That's rare, but it happens, yeah.
Okay.
Being that's advertising.
Yeah. Right. There's things like free market research that's available to you through the Small Business Development Center.
Now, that's
There
here,
are
too.
also other groups, correct, at 29th and Oliver. They have a Small Business Development Center at Wichita State University, but there's also things like the Center for Economic Development and Business Research at Wichita State, and they have some really impressive market research. That's actually the one that does the research for all of the Kansas economic gardening engagements. They also have a teammate that does the GIS work on the team. So we bring in the digital marketing expert from the United States.
Wow. Okay.
But there's also
You're still-
classes here too.
Yeah, but he's not going anywhere yet.
No, we got a couple more
We're
flyers
not
we
done
gotta
yet.
ask
We're not
about.
done yet. Okay, so you can't go anywhere yet. We'll be right back. Real People, Real Life. Welcome back once again, Real People, Real Life, Wichita, Kansas, America.
Oh, man.
America.
The America dance. Okay, John, we're just not going to let you go today. You, again, this is Network Kansas, okay, and people that have questions can get a hold of you at Network Kansas, and that is not abbreviated, it is spelled out, so yes, you do have Network Kansas, 2Ks.com. And then there's an 800-521-8600.
Yeah, and you're able to communicate live with the referral coordinators through the website and tap into a variety of resources that offer business building services. I mean, we mentioned that patent library earlier, but I mean, there's so many more things.
There's so many
going
things
on.
that WSU is doing.
Not just WSU.
Well, I
mean,
know
this-
it's not just WSU, but I
Yeah.
mean, I'm really seeing that at the university levels, okay, whether WSU, I'm just going to use it as an example. Boy, they're stepping it up.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. Have you heard much about the Innovation Campus?
I have, and I want to hear. Tell me. Tell me.
So excited.
I know.
Basically,
I know.
They are creating a place where existing businesses or individuals from the community, students, faculty, really anyone that has an idea that they want to take to market, now has a place that
It's way cool.
is not only going to be able to help you with that, but they're also going to have like access to tooling that is just like unbelievable in my
isn't it?
opinion. Like, for example, they have this machine that is one of two in the world, okay? And the other one is owned by a for-profit business, and the second one is going to be at Wichita State. And so this machine is going to be able to print anything that you can imagine using a variety of materials. And use the term variety.
I know, right?
So then aside from that, this machine's also going to be able to like run the electrical, right? So when it comes out of the machine, you can just use it already.
That's
it's
insane.
basically like the,
It's a crazy 3D printer that
It is
can
a
print
crazy
really.
3D
impressive.
printer. It's
And so
amazing.
like President John Bardot describes it as the closest thing that you can get to the holodeck.
Exactly.
Wow. You know, he's a pretty cool
So
dude, by the way.
yeah, there's a
He
lot of
is, isn't
exciting
he?
things going on right now.
I know.
So-
What are the odds of football coming back? Anybody want to take on that conversation?
It'd be a lot of fun to go watch him play.
It
I'd
used to
bring
be.
my son, and so
So out here, you don't have to go watch them anymore. You can sit and watch it all around.
right.
Yeah, we are. That's right.
No, I would love to see football come back to the WSU campus. You know, there's always been some conversation. It seems like about every year and a half or so, somebody brings it up, but it never comes back. I would love to see football at the WSU campus. again.
Absolutely. Yeah, so would I.
Anybody
It'd be
hear
a lot of fun.
anything in the grapevine that maybe?
I don't know
I've read
what's
the
going
paper.
on, but
There's something.
I've
There's
seen
some talk.
marching band uniforms, so I don't know.
There's
I don't
some.
know.
Okay,
Well,
I
I've
think
heard
they need to
talk.
bring baseball back too.
You never left. You didn't. Okay. Well, okay, I got it this season.
Okay.
Winning has.
Well, okay. Hey. That's why we need to
The one thing-
winners again.
Oh, here we go.
The one. Okay.
Yeah, we
Are we
have,
going back to this? Because I had someone comment I wanted to
I
make.
wanted to know
On
some
the
of
economic
classes.
Pardon me?
I wanted to know more about the classes that we were talking
And
about
there's
earlier.
so much going on. I mean, not just at Wichita State, but I mean, we've been talking a lot about, for-profit, nonprofit. There's even classes and resources like the Procurement Technical Assistance Center that'll help you do business with the government. I mean, there's just
wow.
like so much
So many
available
opportunities.
to people that oftentimes people just may not be aware of these types
I
of
think
think
that's the
that's it.
case.
Yeah.
That
there.
is,
Yeah,
Jesus,
because
how many times
people
have we
knew that.
said this?
And here's the point that we brought this came up on a show here
Yep,
recently
yep, and I
about
was talking
unity
about-
in the community.
Yep.
About we were talking about, well, there's no good jobs out there for
Go
me
and create one.
because you know what? Businesses are not generally set up to give you a job. You need to go out and create your own job, and then hopefully you can employ people or something like that. But the purpose of the business not necessary. I mean, we want that to
The
happen.
majority
But-
of businesses are, one, maybe two-person shops, and
Providing
they
a
are,
product for the community. Yep.
Yeah.
creating
Or
a
service.
living for themselves.
Yeah, and you can go
so
out and create a
that's
living
fun, too.
for yourself
There's
if you're
all
going to be an
types of
entrepreneur,
entrepreneurs.
and that's what this falls right into. So if
Exactly
you need help
right.
on information doing that, there's free
Boom.
classes. You can go do it. So quit your bitching and get off your butt and go do something about
It
it.
doesn't get any easier
Or
than
you
that.
or you can take a $10 to $12 an hour job if you're lucky enough to even find that anymore.
Exactly.
But
Yeah, some of the folks, we, and nothing against our aircraft industry here, because it's still a big one, but it cannot be the only one, okay? And when a lot of them had the layoffs over the recent years, and then now they're starting to maybe hire some of these people back. It's a whole new game, kids.
if you have a 3D printer that can print out like what he was saying right there, those jobs are all going to go bye-bye.
That's
So you
real
better
quick.
figure out something
I know, right?
now.
That's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
those contracts are not the same, okay? So instead of having that cushy $20, $30, $40 an hour gig, you're lucky to come back and get 12. Okay, so all those layoffs and
Oh,
then
yeah,
those
they're
people coming
rehires.
back,
They're hiring.
their rehires are under completely
Oh, yeah.
all new contract arrangements, and the pay may not be what it used to be. I think we talked about this before, because it irks my husband every time he has to go to the post office because the janitor there makes $60-some an hour. Okay, so anyway, I'm tired of hearing about that
I'm
janitor.
going to go apply at the post office for you.
I know, right?
When those businesses tend to lay off, we notice that a lot of those displaced workers will contact us interested in finding opportunities like a trade school or wanting to start their own business or something like that. Another
So
thing
you are
that you were
seeing
talking
that.
about the classes earlier, and has anybody heard of the opportunity with coding? Creating
Yeah,
apps,
yeah,
these kinds
exactly.
of things.
It's huge
There's a lot
now.
going on right now, and basically there is more work than folks that know how to
What?
accomplish
Right.
it.
People
And so
don't understand
there's
how to-
there's
Tens
real
of
opportunity,
thousands.
and so these are high-paying jobs. And it's interesting to me that the culture that we have right here in this city is really cool in my opinion, because there are experienced coders that have created this tech scene. It's called DevICT, and they have this deal every Monday night called Level Up, where if you want to learn how to code, you can just show up and they'll teach you for free.
Really?
And so you can
Where?
That's awesome.
downtown,
It's downtown, yeah.
oftentimes at the Labor Party. But anyway,
Yeah.
a
lot of these are my former
you're able
students
to
from Butler.
show up
Oh,
and
really?
Yeah.
network with other people that are into it, and so
That's
it's
cool
just
right there.
that really it says a lot about the city that we live
Yeah,
in. That
give it
people
back.
are willing to help each other, and it's going to be interesting to see where we are in about 5 years from
Yeah.
now.
They just did a competition here, Wichita State. I think it ended 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the new venture competition. I was actually
my
a judge
boy
there.
Brian Foster, my right-hand man, won. He and his guys, they created
video games.
Yeah, video games for individual businesses and clubs and bars and stuff like that. He's
What
the
do
guy
you
who I've
mean?
been working
Video
on.
games that do take care of all the
Well,
accounting
okay, so
and the
what he-
ordering and
what he did-
It's called Quick Draw Studios, and basically they have the staff and the equipment to make video games. They've actually made one for a local brewing company
Yeah.
called the Hopping Gnome. It's a lot of fun. You should go down there and check it out.
Oh.
So what Brian did was there's a thing called
Did he go to
Elite.
Wine Fire?
No, he went to
He went to
Butler.
Butler, okay.
No, I'm serious. He's my right-hand man. He's been
Okay.
working with me on all my
Okay.
film projects and on this 3D thing too. But he got this thing called Elite. It's a sensor that you hook it up to your computer, and when you put your hand over the sensor, they show up on your computer screen. And so what he was able to do is model some stuff in 3D, and he made a gnome, and you would whack it with your hand. You're not touching anything, but you put it over this, you whack it with your hand, it goes and goes through a field goal. And you can try to smack it and get a touchdown with it by, and so you can sit there for it. And that was the first iteration of it. I didn't see the final
Wait till
thing.
you see the final. It's a lot of fun.
I got to
Awesome.
So what they're
Have a
doing,
draft and play the game. It's cool.
a lot of these kids went to
Okay.
Butler, I'm telling you. And Seth Etter's another one from down
Seth
there.
Etter is the
He's-
founder of DevICT,
Yeah.
who's responsible for this opportunity to learn how to code for free. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's
When do they
he's a
meet again?
genius.
Mondays.
There's more going on than just that Monday night, but if you just check out DevICT online,
DevICT.
Yeah.
yep, if you just check that out online, you'll see they got a lot of cool things going on.
Yeah. And he came back to teach at Butler, but now he's so busy doing this other stuff that he can't teach here anymore.
Right.
But I'm telling you,
Hey, way to be
there's some
successful.
stuff.
though.
There's some stuff going on. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, today to be able to in our first segment kind of talk about the National Broadcast Association and 4K, 8K, and where we're going, where the future is, and then to have John for you to come on and add to that. I mean, there is a great big. It kind of reminds me of back in the day when everybody was, the gold rush or the .com, rush. That
All the buggy companies went out of business too.
I know, right? I mean, but that rush, it's there. I don't think everybody feels
For this
it.
new technology, yes,
But
absolutely.
the rush, the drive, the compassion, the people that are already doing it are in place. You can learn from them. I just see a new frontier. That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's
And
a
with
whole new
resources
world.
like this,
You have no reason
you have
to.
no excuse
It
now.
depends on who you're communicating with to determine what kind of energy you're being
true.
exposed to. But there's a lot of cool stuff going on right now. Have you ever heard of 1 Million Cups?
Yes,
Yes.
I just heard about that.
There's a
That's
seating
neat.
or standing room only every week since
just
they
posted about
launched,
that. Yeah,
and
good.
it's
Yeah.
really exciting what is going on around here. And you have opportunities that do not cost anything to experience collisions with other individuals that may be interested in partnering on a project with you. And so really it just comes down to the project you're working on and really trying to understand who should be involved.
That's awesome.
I love
what
this.
you do for.
Can I just say, it doesn't really matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat, okay? Because it really
Or
does
liberal.
not matter.
Or conservative.
But this is some good stuff. John's a great guy. There are amazing things going on here in Wichita.
Opportunities.
Opportunity. And look at it like this. It never hurts to learn something new.
Never. Oh,
Network
And the place
Kansas.
to start is Network Kansas.
How easy can we make this?
I
Yeah.
can't make it easier than that.
I love
Network
it. I love it.
Kansas.
All right, John, I can't thank you enough. Again, Network Kansas, spell out the word Kansas.com or call 877-521-8600. Ask for John or his nickname, JP. and he'll get you taken care of. But just remember this if you can. One thing, Network Kansas is here to help you. It may not even cost you
You're
a thing.
welcome to ask for me directly, but I have a qualified team that
Right.
I
will
know
be
you
able
do.
to offer the same caliber of service that I can. So just a heads up on that.
Excellent.
Love it.
Thanks
Don't you
for
just
coming,
love
John.
this
I
stuff?
appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. We did have you
Pleasure.
on
Thank you.
earlier, and
We
we
had
had some
technical difficulties.
tech problems, and we promised you we would
Yeah.
make it good, and we have more than made it good. And this is good stuff you guys need to know. I agree.
Let me give a big shout out to Cheryl Lucas here as the reservations coordinator at
Okay.
WSU. She helped us out with our show today, and we greatly appreciate Cheryl.
Yes.
You're the best.
Thank you. Thank you to everybody at WSU.
Yes. And Karen Lloyd for also hooking us up with this guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We love you. Rock on, Wichita.
Bye, Mom. Bye, Julius.